Life is like a broadcast on the radio. A little tense, a little unpredictable, but in general it should be fun. But like any good broadcast, life has a deeper meaning and teaches a lot.
I have dreamed of working in the media since childhood, but I could not imagine that this dream was given to me by the Lord. I remember praying fervently for my work in the media and hearing the clear voice of the Lord, "Wait." After a while, I was already having an interview for the post of a host on the Voice of Hope radio. First, the Lord gave me a dream, and then He made it come true. And since then, I have had the opportunity to serve God, communicate with interesting people, and do the things I like. It was like that until February 24th, until the war began.
Olesia, who lived in Kiev, heard shouting and explosions in the morning. She was about to broadcast on the radio AWR Voice of Hope to cheer up thousands of listeners, but instead witnessed the destruction of her country and her city.
Suddenly a thought struck me and I immediately told my family, "Let's pray and ask God for 3 signs in 20 minutes if we need to leave." We sat down and began to pray. 3 minutes later, a friend called us and said, "We are in Bucha, we plan to leave. If you haven't left yet, leave." A few minutes later, I've received a message from a friend in which she wrote that if we still had the opportunity, we had to leave, because the heavy shelling of Kyiv was expected. At that moment, I was ready to grab my things and run as fast as possible, but we decided to wait for the 3rd sign. And so, 18 minutes later, my dad's friend called and said, "Are you still in Kyiv? Leave." Half an hour later, we gathered our stuff and left the house. When we left our district, we saw a text message, "Air raid alert, the threat of a missile attack."
The track is empty, there are only a few cars. However, a few hours ago, the road was completely congested. Terrible, but at the same time, great hope in the Lord. If He told us to leave, then He will lead us. Olesia's family passed through those settlements in Kiev region where in few days after the terrible fighting will begin. But the Lord protected, guarded, led.
3 days after the start of the war, our radio team started thinking about relevant content at this difficult time. One day, as I was reading, I came up with an idea for a new program, Reliable Message. And the next morning, I recorded the first episode on my smartphone's voice recorder.
The studios don't work. There is no equipment. But there is the main thing, the desire to serve people and God, the desire to bring hope during the war. The team of a radio, AWR Voice of Hope, started recording their programs simply on the dictaphones of their phones using ordinary headphones.
On Instagram, we launched the project Evening Prayer, where we could pray for the needs of the people, communicate with guests, and pray for the needs of Ukraine. And a few weeks later, the Voice of Hope radio gave me a real microphone. I was so happy because the work I was doing could be much better.
The radio AWR Voice of Hope quickly adapted to the new condition during the war. Many workers managed to transfer their equipment so they could set up a mini studio in their homes. During this time, the radio AWR Voice of Hope received about 20 units of new content. It was God who started His work, so it couldn't be stopped.
I want to say the main idea. The Lord hasn't left Ukraine. On the contrary, He has become even closer to each of us in order to continue to support us.
For the Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you.